there, my name is Steve Gearhart, and as always, this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. This is a labor of love for me, so I'm glad that you are here watching. This week, if my throat sound, if things sound scratchy and weird, it's because of allergies. You know, fun times. It's that time of the year. Anyway, so this week we're going to talk a little bit about the anime watch, seasonal watch that we just did for Anime Archaeology, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And we're going to talk about the new and upcoming versions of Patlabor and Ghost in the Shell. So, yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so over at Anime Archaeology, for those of you who don't know already, we switched over from the YouTube format to a podcast format. The link is always down below, but this week we're going to have specific links to the Spring 2026 anime watch party that we did. And what we do is we don't really focus on ones that are continuations of a series or or like really kids shows. We don't really do those. What we try to do is pick the anime that are brand spanking new and watch the first episode and kind of record our thoughts on it. So we usually watch it. We downloaded them, we look at them, and then we do an analysis of it. So that it is Brent, John, and I. So we came up with a list of about 44. We got about halfway through, which is not unusual, but it is unusual to have so many brand spanking new anime. So we should be happy about that because that means that more and more people are watching. So again, we're not reviewing like the next season of Dr. Stone or things of that nature. These are just really brand new stuff. Now, of the 22, 23 anime that we watched over a 36-hour period of time, we were very happy with this season. Last season we were there were a couple that were good, like really good, a couple that were good, and the rest of them were just like they weren't necessarily horrible. They were just meh, right? This season, on the other hand, oh my goodness, there's some really good ones out there. So I'm just gonna scroll through just a couple and just shout out a couple, which had at Lyre, beautiful animation. Oh my goodness, just watch it for that alone. We'll talk more about that, of course. Let's see what else. Scrolling down here. There was one here that I saw that was really good. Oh, yes. Botan fully blossoms when drunk. That is a fun one. We talk about that. Very fun one. But it's not necessarily for the kiddos. This is kind of like a young adult, or actually older than young adult. This is for the college students. It's really kind of cool. Fun. And we discovered what a Japanese highball looks like as opposed to an American highball. It's quite the difference. Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku. This one was a surprise to us. It was very nice. It was a lot of fun. And it sort of just said, it's the people who decided to make this kind of just said, you know what, we're going to kind of break the mold on this trope and kind of go in a slightly different direction. And it worked. Let's see here. Ones that didn't work so well. Ghost Concert, Missing Songs. We'll talk about that. What else do we have? Go For It. Nakamakura-kun. That's for you yaoi folks. Actually kind of fun. Animation is very retro. Give it a watch. Let's see here. I made friends with the second prettiest girl in my class. This, if you happen to also like cinema and bad cinema, like B grade cinema, and that's kind of your wheelhouse, definitely watch this one. That was really kind of cool. I want to End This Love Game, kind of cute, but kind of, I think we all know how that's gonna go. Let's see here. I'm going to find one more. Yes. Okay. And I'm going to kind of stop here. We watched a lot more, but I just wanted to kind of shout out, give a handful of shout out. Needy Girl Overdose. This has such a strong Satoshi Kon vibe to it. and there's a lot of stuff going on. The actual episode doesn't start until the last third of the anime of the episode. The before it is basically establishing certain characters and the like trials and tribulations of being online, being an idol online, being an influencer, being those kinds of things, and the toll it takes. It's based on a video game, I think. We'll get into that in the series, but it is visually interesting, intellectually interesting, story wise. Looks like it's gonna be pretty cool. So yeah, that's one of the big ones. So yeah, we had a very good experience with this spring 2026 anime watch party. You can find all the stuff that we'll be talking about on the podcast on Crunchyroll, High Dive, and Netflix. Yes, Netflix got into the queue this time. Well, it's been gotten into the queue a couple times in the past, but not often. But yes, so we'll be talking about those. So the link for those is down below. It's a 3-parter. It takes, if you watch all 3 parts in a row, it's going to take about 2.5 hours. So that's why we divided it up. But yeah, please give our podcast a watch. It's free. It's free. It's free. So yes, again, link down below. Very good season this season. One of the things that surprised me very, very much was, of the things that we watched, the new brand spanking new episodes that we watched, very, very little isekai, true isekai, and that makes me happy. Very, very happy. There's a lot of cool things to watch this season. So yeah, watch our podcast, see what we have to say, and hopefully that will guide you to what you watch. So yeah, there you go. Great season. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple of anime that are coming up. One's kind of getting a kind of sort of reboot, and the other one is a continuation of the franchise further along the story, which is, I think, is great. Both are, I think, are going to be great. So let's start off with the first one, Patlabor. Patlabor is a anime franchise I dearly love. It has its issues. Movie number 3 was not that great, but I really have always loved Patlabor. Patlabor is one of those things that has stuck with me since I began watching anime, realizing that I'm an otaku, right? Something of an otaku. So I love Patlabor. This was one of my favorite mecha anime out there. I think it's funny. I think it's clever. I think it's insightful. And so when they started announcing way back in 2017 that there's going to be a new part of the franchise, I believe they called it Patlabor Easy, I was very happy and I could not wait, but I had to wait. So finally, in the past few months, they have been releasing some stuff like character art and short clips and things of that nature. But the idea of this Patlabor is not a reboot. This is a continuation of the story. So as we know, Patlabor actually does start in the 1990s. We are in the 2030s now, and we are addressing AI, artificial intelligence. And it's become to the point where Patlabors are, for the most part, a instead of like a new part of society, they are integrated into society in terms of use and how people use them. And the new technology, of course, is that AI are the actual pilots and drivers of these Patlabors. Patlabors are, generally speaking, construction equipments, very specialized equipment. They can be military, and in the sense of the name Patlabor, police in terms of patrol. So yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting. Headgear is still involved, of course. And the character art looks really, really kind of good. We have new pilots because it's 2030. And we still have Division 2, though, for those of you who know what that is. And while there are AI-driven Patlabors, labors, Patlabor still has to police them. And, of course, we all know about AI and anime. Something is afoot, right? So, based on what I've seen so far, I am so excited for this. I believe I'm kind of looking at the Crunchyroll site right now. It looks like Patlabor, EZY. Um, oh, in May. Yes, in May 2026 in Japan. So it's going to have a 8 episode run. It's going to be, let's see here. It's going to be spread out a little bit, I think it looks like. And it looks like most of the stories are going to be inside of the episode, which kind of makes sense. But the last two are a continuous story. So I'm willing to bet that's where we're going to get our interesting AI story. So I am looking very much forward to this. Yeah, Patlabor, one of my personal favorites, one of my almost my baby, if you will. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to this. Another favorite, another longtime favorite, one that I love dearly, again, much like Patlabor, is the Ghost in the Shell franchise. Now, for me, Ghost in the Shell franchise is a little bit frustrating because the later chapters are a little bit, but the beginning, the movies, and the two television series, I really enjoyed it, and of course I love the music as well. Yoko Kanno, thank you very much, and so this is a thing that I always go back to. I have, like I said, the movies, the whole 9 yards. I even have the original manga, but I'll get into that in a moment. So this is originally, I said it's a reboot. It is not. It is an adaptation. There are clips that have already been released to show, like, really brief clips, like 20-second clips to kind of show the art of it. It is supposed to be coming out in July 2026, so I'm very happy for that. I'm so excited. So the story is going to be based on the original manga, from what I am reading, and that is really, really kind of cool. So it's while it is Ghost in the Shell, it is Section 9, it is all that. The story is slightly different in terms of of execution and how characters are actually portrayed. So I'm not sure how thinky talky this one's going to be. This might be a little bit more action centered, I think. And the art direction appears to be being lifted from the actual manga. Now, funny story about the manga. I live very close by to the Pratt Library, which is the big library system here in Baltimore. And every December they have a book sale, right? Libraries have book sales to generate income. And so I'm one of those guys that shows up with like 5 boxes and I fill them up and blah, blah, blah. Just like, and then I come back from work and I have no room for it. I should not be doing this. It's like an addiction. It's like almost my heroin, that in anime. So anyway, one year I was like, oh, Ghost in the Shell, the original manga by Shirao. And I was just like, oh, I gotta have this, and I got it and I brought it home, and I was like, I'm gonna get to read it, and I opened it up and I got it, and I wasn't really paying attention, all right, and I opened it up, and it's all in Japanese, no English translation whatsoever. But yeah, but I still kept it because it's really kind of cool. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but that kind of gives you an idea of the art direction. Now, the major in the manga is not as reserved as she is as we know her in the rest of the franchise. She's a little bit freer, a little bit more independent, and in the series and the movies and the rest of the franchise, she has a very good working relationship with the chief. Not so much in the manga. I mean, they don't hate each other or anything like that. It's not like good cop, bad cop, or buddy cop comedies or whatever, anything like that. It's just that he gives the order and she goes, well, I'll interpret it the way that I want to, and he kind of goes, Major, do what I tell you, please. Kind of a thing. So, yeah, I am very much looking forward to this. I'm excited by the new art direction, or not new, actually old, when you come to think of it, original, shall we say. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this one. I think people I think people who are turned off by the original series and movies, where there's a lot of thinky talky kind of stuff going on, which I enjoy. And of course, some of the movies involved Oshi, and so who cannot not enjoy that, right? Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna stop here because I'm just rambling at this point because I'm so excited about it. But yeah, in July, yay! And in May, starting in May, very shortly, we are going to get Patlabor. Oh, my dear Patlabor, I love you so. So that's it, right there. Um, I am so looking forward to these two releases. All right, that is it for this week. Thank you again for watching. So we have the, let's see here, the Anime 2026 launch party and the results of that over 3 parts. You can see the links will be directly down below. If you can't click on them, please cut and paste. That will work as well. And like I said, divided up in 3 parts to make it for easier watching because it is altogether about 2 to 2.5 hours long. But we talk about a lot of new anime, a lot of new cool stuff coming down the pike. And then, of course, being so excited for Ghost in the Shell, the new adaptation of the old manga, and, of course, the continuation of Patlabor, My Love. And so that is going to be it for this week. And next week it's going to be a little bit different. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's going to be a little bit different. But yeah, that's going to be it. And as always, be good to yourself, be healthy, because I want to see you guys out in the wild and maybe have a conversation if you see me out there. And as always, watch more anime.